Whoa. What's going on, guys? The latest chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo Chapter 7 just dropped, guys. And man, I've been, my head's reeling right now. So if you haven't seen the spoilers, there's so much to get into. And we will. There's a lot of questions been raised. We got a couple cameos, unwanted cameos. But yeah, we'll get into all of that. You know, let's just start that. Okay. Welcome back, guys. Yeah, it's a crazy one. This chapter was ridiculous. All right. It's crazy because you think last chapter was hype, and then you just keep getting more, and you're really getting that Jujutsu Kaisen feel all over again. It's like no wasted movement. We rarely ever had like dull pages. Yeah, you get a couple slice of life here and there, but for the most part, it's leading somewhere. Everything leads to a story, no wasted information. And yeah, let's get into it. So real quick, we start. I'm gonna have to pull out my notes for this one. Hold on. Here we go. There we go. Okay. So right off the bat, we start off at the aftermath of the fight between Maru and that first grade curse user, which props to the old dude. I thought he was down for the count. This dude was still able to at least get away. So he was on his last legs, and I guess now we can add Maru to the people who have given the old dude PTSD, right? You know, along with Yuji, right? It's crazy that he was still able, after all of that, he was still able to find some way to escape or try to escape. And yeah, I guess he didn't live long for nothing, right? First of all, his skills were legit. Second of all, he's durable as hell, right? He literally could have gotten away, if not for our boy. By the way, just real quick, when I had finished the first chapter, I mean the last chapter, I'm sure like a lot of power scalers, we were all thinking like, what kind of rank would Maru be? Right? I thought maybe as an alien might be a special grade. We kind of got it confirmed, later on in the chapter. He's at the very least on par with grade 1 sorcerer. So we can leave him as grade 1 for now. But crazy development there, the crazy reveal there. We also got to see right before the dude could escape, this might have been the hardest panel. Well, second hardest panel in the whole chapter, bro. Because what the hell? This, first of all, this is like hard as hell. This picture is hard as hell. But a cute or nice detail that I realize is I don't remember the curse when Usami showed up and used curse speech to restrain and subdue the curse user from escaping. I'm not sure. Remind me if I'm wrong. Tell me in the comments. But I'm pretty sure like the markings of the technique usually show up on the face. Like even when a prodigy like Yuta used it, it still showed up on the face. So I'm really surprised it showed up on the hands. I'm like, is this a modification? Kind of like the Shinkageryu, the new shadow style drawing. Like, is this a modification to a technique over the couple decades? So this is hard as hell. This is cool. I'm sure like they must have improved on the technique. And yeah, it's crazy that Usami could do this. But not just that, I honestly think this is just like the tip of the iceberg. There is no way this is all Usami can do. I feel like this guy has a lot more in the bag that he's not showing us. But just this is on its own is usually, if it's used right, is really OP, right? This dude is crazy. And I know, I mean, he's got the cool suave look. It's like a cooler Sakabe, but yeah, I'm really curious to see what else he can do. And yeah, he cleans up. He cleans the dude out real quick. Now, And then we get Cross, right? And he gets, really flustered, and he's talking about neighbors, And what was interesting about that whole conversation with the almost passed out Tsurugi was when he mentioned neighbors, when he had said, when he had intervened in the last chapter, I was thinking he was really flustered because, the using of the term neighbors in that context was something maybe he and Maru had, a conversation they had maybe as children, those kind of, like, oh my God, how did you know? What we were talking about. How did you know how to use neighbors in that context? And it kind of is, but it might not have been as deep as I thought. But it kind of is though, because it's like they, at the very least, Cross knew Maru's ideology on coexisting with the humans. So I guess Tsurugi bringing that up is like, the only other person I've heard talk about that is Maru. How the hell do you know to use that in that context, And it was cool to see him kind of flustered, and and you can see kind of where his head is at. He's not really trying to coexist, and he a little in this whole chapter we get to see him really dive deep into the trauma, and the what they're running from, what the Sumerians are really facing. But before we get into all of that, bro, look at this. This is the most what the hell panel in the whole chapter. Because what the actual hell? Like, as if we didn't get enough of this guy. This is crazy on so many levels. I don't check the spoilers, like spoilers during the Jujutsu Kaisen days was crazy. It was very unhealthy for me, literally, because you're waking up almost every hour or checking every hour to see if anything's come out. So I'm kind of cool on spoilers. But what the hell was this? Like, and this was on purpose, right? Because look at the way they had the panel done, right? It's upside down because Gege and whoever do the art, they're like, they want you to really look in like, wait, is that who I think it is? So God, we actually have this guy back. And this brings up two important things, guys. First off, and let me know if I miss anything out of this whole chapter. Let me know in the comments below, because I can't keep up with everything. But first off, why did he think Tsurugi was Yuji? Was there maybe some cursed energy, similar wavelength or whatever, or connection? So because I think he popped up in Tsurugi's subconscious or psyche, because Tsurugi's like, was almost close to death or something like that. Or maybe it was the wave attack that Maru hit Tsurugi with, left some after effects that were similar to Yuji's curse technique, right? But what the hell, right? That's the first one. The second one is two things. The second one is, it's most likely that Yuji is alive, because we know that. We kind of also knew that because we were all looking forward to it, but this kind of confirms it, because we know that Mahito resides in the border between life and death, right? So for him to say, "What is all this? I thought you're not him." We know when he says him, the only person he really cares about is Yuji, right? So he says, "You're not him," meaning Yuji hasn't crossed that border yet, right? So he hasn't seen Yuji, which is hype as hell, because it's like, we know Yuji's gonna make an appearance at some point. We've seen like the after him. You see the aura farming from last chapter, and you're hearing a little bit more, because this means that Yuji is not dead. I personally think he might be the higher up, because it's decades after, or he's a vagabond, just going around Japan, fixing things on the low. I also think, this is a side note, but I think one of the after effects of maybe being the vessel of Sukuna allows Yuji to decelerate aging. So even though he'll probably be older, it might not be as old as everyone else has died pretty much. So I think some of the after effects of being, born with Sukuna's cursed finger might be that he has a slower aging process. But yeah, crazy stuff. So we get to, so we kind of got two confirmations there. So there's kind of some similarity between Yuji and Tsurugi, maybe. And this also confirms that Yuji is our boy is alive, yo. Our boy is alive, and that means if that idiot shows up, if this idiot shows up, that means we get to see more and more of him. Oh my god. If he makes now that he's in this cameo, we will probably see him again. And oh man, it's already bad enough they got to deal with the Sumerians and Dabra and all of that. Now we got to deal with this guy. Crazy stuff. But yeah, we delve a lot more later in the chapter into, you know, Cross and because he takes on, once Maru is he has Maru, taken back to the ship, the spaceship. He tries to cosplay pretty much as Maru, and you really see his, you got to give him his acting chops, right? Because he gets in his bag and he's like trying to act all uppity, and Yuka already sniffs it out, and I think Tsurugi as well, but she already explained that he's not going to say anything. But it's crazy that he really tried to act like that. It was funny as hell because it's probably so out of character for him. But yeah, we got to see him try that. He got sniffed out real quick, and we got to see him delve a little deeper into why they were running and what the kind of trauma they have endured, which is crazy to me because they already have someone as powerful as Dabura. So it begs the question, what the hell is so evil or so powerful that it has them running, even with Dabura, even with their abilities? Like, what could actually cause them to flee from their planet, right? And it's mind-blowing to me because we all thought that this is going to be an Earthlings versus the Sumerians, but now I'm starting to think this is more going to be like they're going to do one of this situations where it's like, no, both of us got to fight whatever is coming, because I don't know what the hell, whatever is coming or whatever chased them away from their planet is probably not dead, and man, and now Mahito comes in this whole mess. So it's like, what the hell, right? And now for like the final shocker was that Yuka, is terminally ill. We find out she's terminally ill, going through some stuff, and no one knows, and she's supposed to die in 6 months. This is also pretty crazy because it's like, I kind of just because Jujutsu sorcerers always use cursed energy and it really amplifies their abilities. For whatever reason, I just kind of always assumed that they couldn't really get sick, which shouldn't make sense since they always sleep and they can be fatigued. But still, I mean, they boost their abilities so much that I didn't think they could get sick. Like, I thought they would die, sorcerer-related deaths. But it's crazy that she has some issue with her brain, and this means normally Yuka, at least we think, is Yuka supposed to die. And if that happens, then we're going to see probably a fully realized Tsurugi, which is, what happens when one twin dies, right? You either get a fully realized Yuta, or, that's what we thought, or a fully realized Maki type character, right? Fully realized heavenly restriction, or fully realized, curse energy powerhouse like Yuta. But it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't think she's dying. I don't think so. I mean, it would not make a lot of sense to introduce her and then just kill her off. But if it's Gege, he can make it work. He can make it work. But still, I hope not. I hope they find. I think the Sumerians might have a cure. So I think they'll have a cure. And but the thing is, I'm sure it comes at a sacrifice. That's one beautiful thing I love about Jujutsu Kaisen, is that it mirrors real life like that. You can't to gain something, you got to give something, right? So to gain that cure, there's going to be a sacrifice. Hopefully it's not a death of any of these three main characters, but I also wouldn't be surprised, honestly, because it's Jujutsu Kaisen, the trauma. But yeah, what did you guys think, man? I think this was a killer episode, amazing on all levels. We got cameos, we got confirmations, and maybe headcanon here and there, but this is looking lit. Like we got 6 months or a couple more months of this. It's gonna be a short story, but I know Giga can make it work. What do you guys think? Like, why do you think Mahito popped up? We need to address that. Why the hell did this guy show up? And do you guys actually think Yuka will die at the end? Like, what do you guys think? Because this has got everyone thinking now. Like, throw your head cannon out the window. This is why I try not to really get too into my head, because you just gotta wait till another Sunday, right? But we're back. So yeah, just amazing chapter all around. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Just real quick, I'm Coco Dan, the host and creator of the channel. Been watching anime and reading manga for about 20 years now. Let me I just love to give my idea and my thoughts and stuff. I'd love to hear yours as well. Let me know your thoughts, your comments in the chat. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.